Today I messed up by having the same fantasy football team for 20 plus years. This all went down yesterday, but the scars will take a while to heal. I'm an avid fantasy football guy. I've been playing in the same league with the same teams with the same friends from college for decades, going back to the pre-internet days when we had to do it all on paper and kept our records in binders. For more than 20 years now the league has persisted as we all got jobs, moved apart, got married, and divorced, and raised children. Our league and its beloved fantasy franchises are now fantasy institutions, on the verge of becoming family heirlooms. But until yesterday, my 12-year-old son had shown few signs that he shared my passion. The sport of football itself didn't hold much interest for him, which is actually totally okay by me. I never played or followed it much myself at his age, but he is in honors math and is fascinated by statistics. So I was pleasantly surprised when he asked me out of the blue to show him how it all worked, both the game of football and the mechanics of fantasy. An awesome father-son bonding opportunity I wasn't going to miss. He listened intently all afternoon, nodding along and taking notes as we hunched over my laptop in front of the television. I began with the basics of positional scoring, but it wasn't long before I was sermonizing at length on the pros and cons of PPR, the debatable fun value of keeper leagues, and the truism that you are almost always better off never picking first in a draft. We talked rivalries, trade strategies, and why Patrick Mahomes is going to deliver me the title that Christian McCaffrey's injury fucked me out of last year. No hard feelings. I concluded the lesson with a solemn promise him that someday this storied franchise, with its 6 finals appearances and 4 league titles, would be his to manage. His eyes widened. After a pause and a deep breath, he closed the laptop. "Thanks, Dad," he said. "That all sounds really cool, and I get it. But why is your team called the Rusty Trombones, and is your avatar really a cartoon of someone with their face in a butt?" Oh. Too long. Didn't read. I was so excited to share my vast fantasy football knowledge with my son I forgot that my team name is wildly inappropriate, and more than a little awkward to explain to a 12-year-old. Today I messed up by being cold for years because of whoever lived here before me. So I'm a cold person, as in I'm always cold. I've been especially cold since moving into my current apartment, 5 years ago, since none of the radiators were warm. I've asked people, Googled it and tried every setting. The only answer I found was that it was probably some automatic setting in the building that only lets the water through when it's cold enough, which it apparently never was. Friends and family have told me I'm over-exaggerating and just being a wuss. So I've lived in warm socks hugging my electric radiator for years. Today I had a plumber over to fix my toilet and he commented on the cold. Then he fixed all of my radiators. In under 10 minutes. Turns out the man who lived here before me had turned the knobs to off so tight that the vents were stuck that way inside the knobs. I have been freezing my butt off for no reason. I don't want to do the math regarding how much my electric radiator has cost me over the years. Too long. Didn't read. I felt cold, and I thought I was just a wuss. Turns out the radiators were off, but it was fixed in 10 minutes. I was cold in vain for years. Today I messed up by not knowing what sanitary towels were until the age of 25. Of course today being 32 I know what sanitary towels are, but back when I was 25. I decided to be a good boyfriend and help my girlfriend by buying her the lady things, and as I can remember this is the story. A little backpedal, I am a brother of 3 sisters, so I don't class myself to be a novice at these sort of things, or so I thought. I'm aware of these sweet wrappers thingies that some girls carry and the other version that looks like a pad, so I go down to the store to attempt to buy these lady things, but I'm greeted by a massive wall and thousands of choices of these things. Clearly out of my depth, so I ask for help from a real-life store worker. I needed a professional. I tell her I require some tampons for my girlfriend as she's running out. She quickly corrects me and says, "Do you mean tampons?" A little bit confused I told her no, I didn't want the ones that go on, I want the ones that go in. This worker starts laughing. I'm getting more and more red in the face. I end up getting the ones I seen in her bathroom, after describing them to the giggling worker girl, so now I know that the tampons go in and the sanitary towel go on. Learn from my embarrassing mistake, guys. This is a repost from Confessions. It got padlocked for some reason. Too long. Didn't read. It's not tampon and tampon, it's tampons and sanitary towels. Today I messed up by introducing my widower dad to my husband's single mom. My husband and I have been married for 5.5 years now. My husband was raised by a single mom, and my mom passed when I was 16, so each of us only had one parent at the wedding. Our parents met during the wedding planning, and quickly discovered how much they had in common and how well they got along. After a few too many glasses of wine, they danced together at the wedding reception. We noticed a little bit of flirtation between them, but didn't think much of it until they started seeing each other regularly after the wedding, going out together for drinks, going on walks together, going fishing together. Even though it was a little weird for us that our parents were ambiguously and later officially dating each other, we truly didn't care because they just seemed so happy. Yesterday, my husband walked his mom down the aisle to meet my dad at the altar. My husband's mom and my dad said their vows, and became husband and wife. And my husband and I became step-siblings. Too long. Didn't read. My husband's mom and my dad started a romance at our wedding, and yesterday they got married, which makes my husband and I technically step-siblings.